I see Maidana over here putting a fake gun up to Broner's head and pulling the trigger. He gonna need a real one Saturday night. Hey, it's my prediction rundown of the fight. Okay, look, dude gonna get his brains beat in, but I'm anxious to see what this new Maidana brings to the table. You know, he's just learning to use the jab, this and that, but you're in there with a vicious body puncher. No matter how much hate y'all have for Adrian Broner, when he's in the ring with somebody who's gonna open up and not be so defensive minded and use a lot of feints like Paulie Malignaggi, he's very effective. And against Marcos Maidana, Maidana has a lot of openings. He's there to be hit. He doesn't use a lot of head movement, so Adrian's gonna have his times. Now, Adrian's never really been like physically tested by somebody who's physically strong like Maidana. Maidana's a big boy too, so he's fighting a guy his size. So we're gonna see how Maidana's right hand is gonna play a factor in this, because he's right hand happy. Now, of course, Broner's gonna roll a couple of them, but some of them he gonna get hit. Maidana throws them at different variations. So we're gonna see. This fight's gonna answer a lot of questions, and all these haters gonna be Broner fans again. Then the rest gonna come up with excuses. You know, this is the main problem they have right now with these so-called fans. They are so much of a fan that they blind themselves to reality. And that happens to all of you. Y'all blind yourself from reality. You guys can't call it the way it is. Like with the Rigondeaux fight, I gave Rigondeaux credit for doing what he did, because that's what you're supposed to do. If somebody's doing something right, you say, hey, they did something right. Don't matter what they did in the previous fight. You judge them by the fight they did. But y'all consist that I was out to hate, kill, because he beat Donier and he outpointed him. I mean, he did, but he didn't look great in that fight to me at all. This fight, he looked 10 times better. Maybe it was the opponent. But you guys couldn't do that. You guys make excuses to get to the next level. Example, Manny Pacquiao. The majority of the Pacquiao fans will tell you he lost the Tim Bradley fight, so that's not considered a loss. Oh, the Marquez fight is, but not the Bradley fight. Then what about the Marquez fight before that? Well, he clearly lost. So what do you want to do there? Since you want to flip the Bradley one around, go ahead and flip the other Marquez around then. If you want to do that, so he still lost 2 of his last 3 fights. Because that's what you're doing, flipping it around. But you're doing it to fit your agenda. And I love it when people say, we got unbiased people over here. It's only unbiased when somebody agrees to your statement. They're unbiased. Not like you. What makes me biased? Because I don't agree with what you say. So that makes me biased. You see? People get so confused with scoring a fight and looking at something honestly, because they get emotionally attached to the fight. Now let's move on to the rest of the card. I got Keith Thurman stopping Soto Karass in about the 9th or 10th round, because he's heavy-handed, he's heavy-fisted, and he's going to get tested this fight because Soto Karass keeps throwing punches. Comes forward, body, head, uppercut, jab, comes in behind a jab. He's a workhorse. So he's going to push Keith Thurman to work, but Keith Thurman has very heavy hands. And to me, I think he hit just as hard as Maidana, if not harder. And later in the fight, I don't know how many of those shots he'll be able to take. So, on that note, all I can tell y'all is dead man walking. Oh man. And shoot, that's about it, man. I don't think there's no surprises on this card that's gonna pop up, and then we gonna be like, oh man, so and so won. I think this card is designed to go just as followed. So if there's any extra surprises, I really don't see it. But after this, fellas, Adrian Broner has to either defend the title against Keith Thurman or vacate it. So what do you guys think about that? Keith Thurman versus Adrian Broner. Now that's a fight. At least I think it's a fight. I don't know about y'all, but I think that's a very, very intriguing fight. That's matchup problems all day and night. And Jermaine Taylor's back fighting too. He's on the card. But Jermaine Taylor is the second fight on the card, right behind New. Now, you the second fight opening the card, man. You the former middleweight champion of the world, and you on the second fight of the opening card? Come on, man. It's time to throw in the gloves. Throw in the towel or whatever, man. It's not, this ain't for you no more. I listened to an interview with him, and he's gone, fellas. That's not the same Jermaine Taylor. He thinks and believes he is, but he's not. The bleeding on the brain, all of that stuff has had an effect on him, and I think it's time he throw in the towel. I mean, really. If he was struggling to get through the whole conversation. It was bad to listen to. I just hope he, don't get hurt and that he gets out of the game nicely. But he wants to fight Peter Quillen and get the middleweight title back. So, God bless him. And what's this I keep hearing about? All this hate on Adrian Broner. He hasn't fought anybody. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, everybody know when he won his first world title or whatever, this dude fought Ponce de Leon, and y'all talk about he didn't fight anybody. This guy fought the #1 fighter in his weight division for a world title with DeMarco, but y'all said he didn't fight anybody. This man tried to fight George Burns, who's also the #2 guy in the division. And they didn't want to fight. They stalled, they negotiated. He didn't want to come over here and fight Adrian Broner. But don't say like he was ducking these guys. Who was he supposed to fight that he didn't fight? Nobody says that, but they quick to say somebody ducking somebody. But they never come up with the person they supposed to be fighting. They just want to hate. And that's the problem you have today. Is too many people in the way with coming with hate and garbage on somebody, and they don't even know what's going on themselves. It's terrible. You couldn't name a guy at 135 that he was supposed to have beat. At 130, who was he supposed to beat? Who was he supposed to fight at 130? Who did you know? Who did he duck at 130? I want to know, who did he duck? Who was the man that he said, you know what, I can't fight him, I'm ducking him? I want to know that. I mean, the guy beat the people that's in front of him, and y'all want to blame him for Galvin Reese, a guy they had to come up with last minute because George Burns was the guy that was scheduled and slated to be there. That's who HBO wanted to take. That's why they took the Galvin Reese fight, because They knew, they tried to make the fight happen, and look what happened. I mean, people act like Adrian Broner been fighting for like 30 years or 10 years. He just getting his career really off the ground, and he's a 3-time world champion in 3 different weight classes already at 23 years old. That's something to do. They just don't hand out world titles. Well, now they do, but I think he earned it. When he beat Ponce de Leon, that was a close fight. A lot of people think he lost. Definitely not by the scores that they had. He knocked out Jason Litzau, who they put all their money back. America's boy. Yeah, okay. He exposed him for what we knew he was. But see, y'all don't call people out on that. Y'all rather fight the other people. They building a fraud right in front of you that you like, this guy is not the goods. And then who he fight? Vicente Rodriguez, whoever that guy was. Then he fought Eloy Perez. It was a lot of people thought Eloy Perez was going to give him problems. Eloy ain't lost to nobody. Then Escobedo was a good fight for him. Remember that? And then everybody got mad at him. He didn't make weight. Yeah, that was bad. He didn't. Then the DeMarco fight, they couldn't say nothing. We knew what that fight was going to look like. Then the Reed situation. Then he fought Paulie Malignaggi. Y'all said, oh, he's going to kill Paulie. Paulie's the weakest champion in the division. He's weak. He has no power. And Paulie shows you why he got the belt in the first place. He can box. The kid can box. He always could box. Do you see anybody else just knocking Paulie out? Even with his brittle hands, he finds a way to win. You know, I don't understand it. I really don't. So I hope this Maidana fight ends all these questions. Do I think Broner's Mayweather? No. He's not Mayweather. He's Adrian Broner. He fights his own way, his own style. He doesn't have to mimic Floyd to be great. He can be great in his own existence. There's a lot of fighters that don't fight like Floyd Mayweather who are actually great fighters. But that's enough talking on that. I gotta get out here in the rest of the world. My birthday starts in a couple hours. I'm out.